let me give you a brief background about what we're doing, right? So in the entire digital marketing space, and a lot of people actually today, try to be in the digital marketing space. So we are going to just talk today about the introduction of digital marketing. If you all decide to continue this course, then we will have sessions where we will talk about content marketing and social media marketing and emailers and all of that, right? The entire marketing aspect of it. So we will be going through that. Now, in the introduction, what we are going to look at is the entire evolution of digital marketing. Now, when you as a person, when you log on to Instagram, there are certain things you see, right? And what you see depends on algorithms that the Instagram platform is deciding. So the Instagram platform knows that, in the past 1 month, you've gone and liked your Harley Davidson scooter, right? Or you've gone and liked a, Creta car. They know that this is the things that you're liking and these are the things you're engaging on, which means that they start actually giving you more and more information about this particular topic. So everything that you see on Instagram is not what's coming onto your feed. It is what, Instagram thinks is something that you will like and interact with. Because Instagram only makes money when you interact more and more with the platform, right? So when we talk about this, we are talking about an area of multiple different platforms. So it's not only your Instagram or your Facebook or your emailers that you see. Digital marketing consists of standalone different platforms. And there are people who become specialists, right? So when we start off our career, we usually start off as, either a social media specialist or an SEO specialist or a paid ad specialist. There are specialisms that we start with. Now, after that happens is where you start getting a knowledge of multiple things, and then you go to a role where you head the entire digital marketing part. So at Kotak Life, for example, today I manage everything, right? From analytics to content to SEO to SEM. And that's the kind of role we all built to in digital marketing after a couple of years. But when you start off and what you're seeing on the screen today, you can actually only be a campaign manager. Now, campaign manager is email and SMS, right? And you can be only focused on that. Or you can be a social media person who is putting up images and content. And trust me, it's a lot of fun, right? I have, for a couple of years done social media, and it's a lot of fun because every day something happens and immediately you create something and put something up. So there's a lot of excitement to that entire role. What you also get to do is cover a lot of live events. So if there are events happening, you get to visit the events and you get to cover them, right? So there is a glamorous side of digital marketing that, people see. And then there is a non-glamorous side, which is a more technical side, where you're actually sitting at the back end and running ads, deciding which audience to target. Out of the 5 lakh people who are, in a particular area, whom should actually show my ad so that they'll convert, right? So that entire part is the technical part of it. And then there's a fun side of it. Now, the entire concept of digital is just saying, I want to promote a product or a service, right? And a product is a product like a shampoo. A service is a financial service, giving a personal loan. All of these are services. So I will be selling a product or a service on a digital platform. Now, a couple of years ago, we had TikTok, right? Now we don't have TikTok anymore. And every digital platform has a, growth, has a maturity, and has a stagnation. So any platform, and whether it's Instagram also today, in a couple of years, you may actually see Instagram going down and you will have a new platform coming in. Because people get bored of the same platform, right? How many years will you continue using the same platform? So platforms like Snapchat, for example, have a very small audience base that's there. And those are the guys who are also on every other platform. So you may also be on multiple platforms, right? You may be on Instagram, you may be on Snapchat, you may be on Pinterest, for example. You will have presence in multiple places. But as a digital marketer, the base of this is you should not get biased towards any platform. So even though you use Instagram the most, if someone comes and says, listen, I want you to promote this vegan product across digital, you cannot say, I will only do it on Instagram, right? You will have to be able to figure out other platforms. So whether it's sending out emails to certain people, whether it's, doing a tie-up with Godrej Nature's Basket and actually selling, selling it to them through emailers, whatever it is, you will have to find different avenues to stick to. Now, there are 2 types of audiences we usually have. One is our existing audience and one is our prospective audience. Existing audience is who is already bought from you. Now, if today you've already purchased a Samsung laptop, right, or an HP laptop, you are an existing customer of HP laptop. When HP laptop comes with a new laptop design or a new variant, they will send you a SMS or an email or a communication which says, hey, we have, you already have this. However, now you can upgrade to a new laptop, right? So that communication of upgrade or replace. All of that happens with existing customers because a person has been using it for some time. However, that's not true for prospective customers because prospective customers have never tried, right? They have never tried the product. So you will try to get them by strategies of discounting or buy one, get one free. So I don't know how many of you all, know DMart, right? You walk into a DMart store, it's a supermarket, and whatever products you would have not heard of. So imagine there is Maza, right? You guys know Maza. Imagine there's Maza, and on the right of Maza, there is a brand that you don't know about, but it is looking exactly like how a mango drink should look. What they will do is they will put a one-on-one offer purely so that when you go to pick up a Maza, you are seeing the other product there and you are saying, yeah, one-on-one free, let me try. How bad can it be? That entire thing is where you're getting a prospective customer to try your product. The other way that this happens is also where trials happen, right? Shampoo ka wo 2 rupees ka ya 5 rupees ka sachet you get. Those are supposed to also induce purchases by giving trials. So you always have to break up your strategy into what are you going to do for people who already bought your product in the past. How do I get them to buy a better product? How do I, and the entire thing, right? iPhone 12 aya, iPhone 13 aya. How do you get an iPhone 12 person to upgrade to iPhone 13? OnePlus also does it. If you buy a OnePlus phone, when they come up with a new OnePlus, you can exchange that for a very big price, right? OnePlus allows you to do that because it wants you to upgrade. So a OnePlus, 8 may have been 50,000 rupees and a OnePlus 9 will be 70,000 rupees. These guys will say, you know what, we will give you a 10,000 or 15,000 off if you exchange your old phone. All of those are communications to your existing customers. Now, when we talk about assets and just look at the amount of platforms that there are, right? We usually look at digital from 1 or 2 platforms, but we break down, and as a digital marketer, we break down as digital assets, and I'll explain what assets are, into 3 parts. Now, assets are what a company owns. So if I am, for example, Zomato, as Zomato, right, what do I own? Do I own a website? Do I own an app? Do I own a Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page, etc.? Right? Do I have a blog section? Do I have do I have my Reddit account, for example? All of those are your own assets because you have the login to it, right? As a brand, and like you and I have our Instagram account login, they have a login to it. So this is about what is the asset that a brand has with them, where they have full control over. Mujhe aaj subah ko utke, if I want to put something on that platform from Zomato, I can, right? That's full authority. The other 2 types of assets that are there are paid and earned assets. Now, paid assets are what we pay for. So all the partnerships you see, all the tie-ups you see is where you pay someone else, right? So a Miss Malini, for example, you will go to Miss Malini and say, listen, I want to promote this product. I will give you 2 lakh rupees, right? Just make sure that the product is getting so much of visibility, right? Maybe, 50,000 people or 5 lakh people are able to see the product. So I will give her money in return for she reaching out to people about my product. Now this comes a little bit how you have endorsements, right? You have celebrities who are endorsing it. That way you have bloggers who are endorsing it. So your Vicky Khanna and all of these guys, your chefs, your travel guys, all of them, they go ahead and they put up or promote places. So you will see bloggers who go and they stay in, a Taj or Taj Rishikesh, for example, and they will put up all pictures. Now, these stays are free stays. Taj is paying these, actually not paying, Taj is telling these people, come and stay here for free because you have a lot of followers. And if you put up something, your followers may want to purchase from us, right? So all of these are paid propositions. There's always money that's going out from the brand side. Content marketing sites, for example, and you would have seen your Men's XP and BuzzFeed and Board Panda, Scoop Whoop, Logical Indian. All of these are content marketing sites. If you go to these platforms, they have a lot of content which is about random things, right? 5 things that an Indian mother tells you. It will just say that. And when you actually start reading, there will be some one line or one paragraph about some, saying that mother says you will learn when you grow up or you will learn when you become a parent, right? And then there'll be a link to something and a link back to a product. So that there is a product buy-in that happens. This you will see in movies, you have the actor who is eating kurkure, for example, right? So all of these are paid promotions and tie-ups that happen. It also happens in the content marketing side space. Earned assets, on the other hand, are free. have, we have an entire session on content marketing. We have a session on influencer marketing. So we will be covering these things there in detail. But and this is actually the most interesting part, because on assets, managing it is the simple thing, right? You have something, you're just making sure that content's updated and things are put up and all of that. But paid assets is where there's a lot of fun, because you get to try new things, you get to do new partnerships. Now, earned assets, like I was saying, is the free part of it. Now, why will someone put something for free? Now, what happens is there are PR and public relations people in every company, right? It can be a part of the marketing team or it can't be. It may be a separate thing, but it comes under a chief marketing officer. Now, these guys have good relations with the journalist itself. So if a Times of India has a journalist which writes about finance, these guys will have a good relation with them. So what these guys will do is they will say that, listen, when some new news comes in, when RBI is, blacklisting something, I will give you a quote from my boss, right, or my CEO. You, on the other hand, give me 3 or 4 free visibility articles in the year. So there's no money being exchanged, but this is like a barter thing. Ki tumne mujhe visibility de diya, I will give you a quote, because journalists need quote, right? When something happens. Now, when the entire thing about cryptocurrency being banned was there, they need people to give, say what they feel. They need CEOs to give a point of view, right? For all of this, it's difficult for journalists also to find people. So the journalist will say, okay, what I'll do is when you all do something, I will cover that article. But in return, when I need a quote from your CEO, you have to be able to give it, right? So online PR works like that. News websites is where news happens, right? So if, when Zomato IPO got listed, all news channels covered. Now that's free news. Zomato has not paid anyone for it. Listing websites are places where, like a Just Dial, right? There's listing done, saying what are all the companies that give, sell this product or give this service. You will have a list of companies. There's no money that's taken there. If you want to be on the top position, you will have to pay. But if you just want to be listed, there's no payment. The other one is aggregators. Aggregators is Policy Bazaar, Bank Bazaar, Paisa Bazaar. All of these guys are aggregators, right? So, and the funny thing is something like Amazon, which we call a marketplace. Amazon is also in its form an aggregator, because it's aggregating sellers and products across the world and it's putting it on one platform, right? So when we manage digital marketing, we actually manage all these three. We have to make sure that there is proper content going up on our website. There is timely updates going up on social media. So all of this is being managed by us, right? And we are usually given a budget. So you'll be given a 1 or 2 crore budget in a month. You have to now decide where you want to put the money. And that is where you get a good digital marketing person versus an average digital marketing person, is just on the basis of deciding, saying, where do I put budgets so that my brand has maximum visibility. Any questions still here?
No, ma'am.
Perfect. Now, in digital marketing platforms, like I was saying, and there's a lot more than this, right? But all the ones that you see here in yellow are social media platforms in some way. So Facebook, Instagram, you guys know. Twitter, you all must have heard. LinkedIn, professional network. YouTube, obviously, you all know. In content marketing, you can put content marketing on social. So you can have articles which, articles where links are shared on social. You click on them and you can have a full-fledged article, right? So if you say, what are the 5 top careers in 2022? If in that case, on Instagram, you will see a post, you will click on it and you will go to an article which talks about that. So those are content marketing which is done on social. You have influencer campaigns, so you will know, influencers. They will tell you that these products are good and you will try them out, right? That entire thing is influencer marketing. The last thing is where you have branded emojis. Now, branded emojis, you would have seen, you have a lot of emojis which has brand or which has a Starbucks in their hand. Netflix will have this popcorn wala theme. So you will have a lot of brands which create emojis with their brand name, or like a Nike, for example, you have the Bitmoji avatar, right? In that avatar, a Nike can go and say, listen, I want Nike shoes to be an option to select when people are choosing shoes. All of those stickers, GIFs, all of them, when they are branded, they become a social or digital asset itself. So out of all of these platforms, Google, for example, and Google, there is search and there's display and all of that is there in the post. We'll go through it. In high impact display buys, right? You have, when you go to a Times of India, what you see on the front page, the big banner, all of those are high impact display buys. Then you have mobile app advertising. So when you open a mobile app, right, like a Candy Crush, you will have a delay that happens for 20 seconds. There will be a ad that shows up. And in some cases, if you see an ad, you will get additional lives, right? So all of those are mobile app advertising. And then you have emailer and SMS. So if you guys have, Gmail and all, you would have seen a lot of promotional mails coming in from Adidas, Nike, your brands that you like. You will get that communication, right? So those are email and SMS. So these are all the things that are there. And you can be in a role which manages a couple of this, or you can be in a role which manages all of this. Now, digital marketing strategy, right? And this is where the entire thing happens about what and whom are we targeting to and what are we saying to them. So the shoots that you see, right? On when you open your Instagram, you will see these shoots of actor, actresses and all doing an ad. Now, all of those shoots also we have to decide, saying if this is our audience, what is the kind of video that they would want to see? What is the kind of GIF they would want to see? Would they be interested in filling a pool? The good part of this is that when you're in this role, you have very little interference from your bosses, right? Because you are supposed to be the creative person. The boss expects you to know more. So the reason why, younger people are chosen for, especially for social media roles, is because you guys are more creative, right? You look around the world, you see things, you experience, and you're very free to give an opinion out. That is what actually makes a social media person. So a lot of profiles, right, don't need, and one of the reasons why I was so upset that you all didn't talk is because one of the most important, what do you call it, skills that you need in marketing is being able to market yourself. If I cannot market myself to you, how will you market a product? How can I say that, a person who can't tell that this is what I am can say this is what the product does? And honestly, right, marketing is all about communication. There's nothing else in marketing. It's about how do I present what I want to say in the best way possible. Does it need an image? Does it need a video? Does it need text? Does it need a poll? What does it need? That's what I'm deciding, right? So that entire thing starts from what am I trying to say. So when we are looking at a product, we are starting with saying whom do we want to target, right? What are the audience segments? And all of this, there's a lot inside this, right? This is just an introduction slide, but in who to target, you decide what is the age group, what is the location, what is the kind of, are they married, not married, do they have kids, which school, colleges are they from, what are their interests, have they in the past traveled somewhere, are they frequent travelers, all of those things are the who to target. Now, why is it important? Is because the only reason that digital marketing is given so much more importance than normal marketing, offline marketing, the print and the radio and the newspaper, is purely because digital can avoid the overlaps that happen, right? Or the overspill that happens. Because in overspill, what happens is, imagine I show an ad for say a ice cream thing, right? Imagine I show that to my father who may be 60 plus. My father may have diabetes. My father may not be able to eat it also. What's the use of me showing an ad, or what's the use of the brand showing an ad to people who can't anyway buy the product? When it's newspaper, everyone will see it, right? Because I will read the same newspaper, my dad will read, my husband will read, all of us will read the same newspaper. But that's not true in digital. In digital, because we all have our own phones, all of us have our own, and most of us have our own laptops. Because there's very less sharing that happens on digital devices, we have our dedicated thing, right? Which means that if Baskin Robbins comes in and launches a new flavor and wants me to try it, it can only show me an advertisement on my phone. It does not need to show it to other people. So the who to target is important because of that, because digital allows you to target that one person who has that phone and not go and reach out to 20 people in the house. The where to target is where do you place the ad, right? Do I say, I will put it on Twitter? Do I put it on Hindustan Times? Do I put it on CNBC? Which is the platform where I'm going to put my ad is the where to target. Now, the when to target is the time of the day when I choose to target. Now, for example, right, if we are talking about Amazon Prime and Netflix and all of these, most people watch this in the night, right? We watch it after an 8 or a 9 or a 10. Now, people like me, for example, we come from office at 9:30. I mean, for us, if we want to watch Netflix, we have to watch after 11:30, right? That's how late it becomes. Now, when these guys are trying to do an advertisement to me, they will have to make sure that if their placement is a Netflix or a YouTube, they will have to target me after 11 o'clock. Because if they target me right now, right, when I'm doing this class, it's of no use because I'm not seeing my phone. So the when to target is important because of that. And a lot of age group, and it's broken up usually basis age group. Because age groups, if you're in college, you have a different timetable, right? If you're working, you have a different timetable. If you're a homemaker, you have a different timetable. Basis that you have to be able to identify and target them. The last is the media plan. And while we are doing this course, I'll show you how a media plan looks, right? Now, media plan gets very complicated because our media plans are for like 1.5-2 crore budget or more, right? Like, a lot of companies, especially the bigger guys, have 7 to 10 crores per month. Imagine having to plan every month for how your 7 to 10 crores is going to get spent. Now, I cannot sit and say, chalo, I'll put 1 lakh here, 1 crore here, or I'll put 10 crores here. You can't do that. You have to be able to give a plan which says, what are the channels I'm using? How many people am I reaching? How many times am I reaching them? How many of them will see my ad? How many of them will come to my website, buy my product, or drop a interest or an inquiry? We actually map this entire thing in an Excel sheet, right? And all of it is being mapped. Now, in digital marketing, if you're only doing social or you're only doing content, you will not have to do media plan. Media plan is mainly for people who manage everything or for people who are managing the paid marketing of it, which is running ads on Google, running ads on display. All of those are where your actual, reports start coming in. Now, we will also be later on going through, our content strategy, how to make how do you define what hashtags to use, how many hashtags to use, what are the kind of things that people read. We will be taking that in our social and content sessions. Now, the measurement of this, right? Because everything in digital ends with how are you able to tell your boss that, listen, this is what I got. So these are the number of likes I got. These are the number of shares. And all of these that you see here, right? All of them have a background, and it's about how many people can you reach in 1,000 rupees? How many people can you reach in, say, 5 lakh rupees budget? There is a way that you actually track all of these things, and we will go through it in our sessions also. But eventually the answer is how many sales have you done? So if I'm selling that Baskin Robbins new flavor, eventually at the end of the month, I have to tell my boss that, listen, I was able to sell 70,000 of these ice creams in 1 month because of these ads of mine, right? That attribution is also possible because we have analytics in place. So we use Google Analytics, you can use Adobe Analytics. There are multiple tools that are present. Just, and I'll be very honest with you, right? The more that you try to use tools and learn about things, it's easier in the career because people want people who know more things, right? I would rather go to one person who knows 5 things than go to 5 different people because it's difficult to coordinate. So when you're learning this entire thing, even if you have a specific interest in one thing, even if you're only interested, say, in content, make sure that you're still keeping your ears open for the other things, purely because if someone asks you, at least they know that you're willing to learn and you can catch up, right? So, and the entire, the role that you get, the job salary that you get, everything depends on the skills that you're building right now. So yeah, I think that's it. Any questions, anyone?